Hi, welcome to my channel Discovery Florida. Today on this episode we are going to see the DIY project which we did at our home. It's called the raised bed garden. So let's check out. Let me tell you what is the raised bed garden. The raised bed garden is this. So basically you are making the particular space you're dedicating to the plants where you are going to do the either vegetables or anything you want to plant. You can also do the flowers, but we have done specially for the vegetable plants. This is specifically some particular techniques we have used. It's called the square foot gardening. I will go more in detail what are the benefits of doing that, but let's go over the details about what is the exact advantage of making the raised bed garden and why did we decided to make that garden. So we have a lot of issue of the iguanas. Our property is the lakefront property. If you come in the afternoon or in the morning time, you will see like 25-30 iguanas roaming around. And iguana loves vegetables. So we tried actually planting the same area, doing some vegetables. My father-in-law is very fond of doing the farming. But the plan got failed. You know, the lot of hard work got failed. He became sad. You know, it's so much effort someone has to put when you decide to do the gardening seriously. Then we decided to make something enclosure so the iguana doesn't go inside. Have a wooden whole pack we have made, and also we put the screening, which I'm going to show you how exactly we did it. We also have an accessible gate, so it's easier for the gardening. So now upgrading from that thought process, we thought of making something more organized so it's good for the vegetables. And let's say you want to change some plants, you know, season wise, then also you can do that. We introduced the square foot gardening. The square foot gardening, you make the specific squares which are, you know, you can dedicate to the particular plants. You can control the soils, fertilizer to that particular square. So you don't get confused where the plants are and, you know, which kind, like, because sometimes some vegetables need certain kind of fertilizer, others need different. So that's something you can control. And this is what we made is a little bit raised than the floor, because, you know, especially when you have elderly people who are kind of helping you, senior citizens, you know, doing the gardening, especially my father-in-law is doing in my case, then, you know, they don't have to bend over to, you know, take the vegetables or doing the planting, etc. So the raised bed garden is really helpful in that case. Also, the number one benefit, as I said, is the soil control. And we also use, it's called the drip irrigation system. So that way, like, we do have a sprinklers running around in whole our garden, I mean in our lot. But of course you cannot control the sprinklers if you want to specify, you know, water your plants. Sometimes they over deliver the water to your plants and plants get killed or get, you know, infected actually, and that's also something we have experienced already. So that's another thing we introduced in our home garden, doing the drip irrigation system. That's very traditional system of controlling the water. That's also I'm going to show how exactly we did it. So as you see, this ground is now pretty much clear. We had old plants here and there were some weeds. Before when we planted wasn't done correctly. So now before you do any kind of raised bed garden planting, make sure you have the clear ground. You take out all the weeds from the ground. Now this blocks they are going to use as a walls of around the raised bed. There will be some little bit of walkway, so you can go inside. So we'll see next how it's going to be. Now let's go through the steps. So number one step, you have to first decide the space where you're going to put your wood structure for the planting. It could be your patio, it could be your garden, front or back, how your city permits. But that's number one thing. Depends on that, you have to design and decide that how many planks you are going to need. So you have to make the rough plan. So after making the rough plan, you decide on how many planks you are going to use, how many doors you are going to keep. Bought the planks from the Home Depot. We sanded and painted. Before painting, you make sure you sand so the paint stays with it. We used water resistant paint because that's very essential when you have an outdoor structure. And any woods are treated actually mostly when you buy from the store, and those treatments sometimes goes inside the plants, which you do not want when you are doing planting for the vegetables or something you are edible things.
The next section is the square foot gardening. You might have heard about this technique. It was invented a couple decades ago, which has been very famous in order to produce more in less space. So basically, if you don't have a big backyard like we do, or if you have a patio where you want to do little bit of gardening, you can also do so in your patio. All you need is like a 10-inch of deep square raised bed, and you can use a square foot gardening. The book is available on Amazon. There will be a link in this video as well. So what that guy did was he used a specific structure where if you have, like for example, if I have this big bed which is 8 by 4 feet, if I want to plant something, it's easy to get lost, or it's easy to be overwhelmed by so much space and not knowing what you want to plant where. So what he did was he divided the entire garden into each square. Each square was 1 feet by 1 feet, so it's square feet.
So as my husband talked, we have done the square foot system, and we have planted mainly the vegetables what we normally use in daily use. So it's like ladyfinger, spinach, cilantro, mint. Actually I'm very fan of the green juicing, so I have used some of the vegetables that we daily juice, so it's kind of easily accessible. You don't have to go for shopping every time, and if any time lockdown happens again, then we have easily accessible at our home. That's the one of the benefit. And so one of the main benefit of having your own garden is it's organic vegetables you get. Now in this world, we know a lot of pesticides are used. It's not sometimes even safe to consume outside vegetables, but yeah, there is no choice, we have to. But again, if you have some accessibility, then this is really good concept to execute for your health.
The next thing we did was we used the drip irrigation so that it's all on, like we don't have to manage watering. We don't have to we don't have to like water the plants every day. the benefit of drip irrigation is you can put it on timer, it runs every day, it gets the water directly to the roots or directly to where it needs to go, and you don't put extra water anywhere else or even on plants. So it contains the limit, or it puts the limit on the water you use, but at the same time you maximize the use of water. So I basically ran this pipe underground all the way to my water hose, and then I put this drip irrigation system. It's very easy to do. It cost like, this system cost me like less than $50 to put, and it took me like approximately less than 1 hour to put the system. Main thing you need is like a pressure control valve, which is here, because you don't want very high pressure and then all your pipes start leaking excessive water. So you need a pressure control valve here. Then you also need like a backflow preventer, so if anything gets in the pipe, any dust or any particles, any creatures, the backflow makes sure that it doesn't go back in your main water line. So these are the two components you need, and this is a 1.5 inch pipe, and then this is 1/4 pipe. When I turn it on, it basically, I have to turn the system on from the main side, but right now it's off. But basically when I turn it on, it runs, this is the main line, it runs the water through this line, and then from this line I have like 1/4 of line with, if you can see the hole, like the water drips from this place, like the drip irrigation in this case is like 6 inch apart. So basically almost every plant gets enough water.
We have painted a specific kind of paint which I have listed here. In the description you will see all kind of links what we have used, but I'm also showing here. So we, after the painting you have to dry it for 2 or 3 days, everything. So it took us almost a week because we were doing like in between, because we both work full-time and we were just doing in a weekend or when we have a time. Well, as my husband said, we use the pocket holes. You need some different kinds of tools specifically if you are doing at home, so make sure you buy those. I have put a list on the screen, the tools you will need to make the structure. Once you have the tool. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to know more about the videos like this content, or maybe you just want to know about the South Florida, how is living, eating, or enjoying in South Florida, then don't forget to subscribe this channel, hit the bell button above so that you get notified each and every video we post on this channel. Now I'm going to see you on my next video.